and welcome to the Bot Box. Now, before I go on, I would like to apologise for the heavy delays to this episode. I have been working the night shift. It was brutal, and hence the delays. I'd also like to inform you of some sad news. Nick Adams of the Wild Thing 2 and Demon Team has, I understand, passed away recently. It was a very good driver, and Wild Thing was a very good robot. Its fight with Hypnodisc comes immediately to mind. Today, however, we are talking about Bigger Brother, the Nightmare in Metal, and we are starting off with some pinball. Bigger Brother, of course, a flipper wielding a flipping arm, and was the successor of Big Brother from Series 3. Bigger Brother made its debut in Series 4, and its first appearance was in the pinball, which is why I'm starting there. It was also seeded 14th. Now, Bigger Brother made a good start in the pinball, knocking a bunch of barrels over and hitting a target. It took Bigger Brother 2 attempts to open the multi-ball release. After failing to get one target due to a house robot guarding it too fiercely, Bigger Brother went through the car door option, hit another target, and opened more and got more barrels over before time ran out. It scored 180, which ultimately landed it in joint 5th place. Its next appearance was in the sumo, where it took on Shunt. It tried to go for Shunt's sides, but Shunt was having none of it, and Bigger Brother lasted 6.43 seconds. It came 12th. Oops. Finally, Bigger Brother got its first fight in Heat J Robot Wars, as I said, seeded 14th, and it had aspirations of beating Chaos 2, the defending champions, and of course Flipper. First, it had to face Hammer, Axe Lifter, Hammer and Tong, and Walking Clawbot, Clawed Hopper. Bigger Brother flipped Clawed Hopper at once, but the walker landed on its feet. The 14th seeds ended up out of focus until they flipped Clawed Hopper once more, the last flip turning the flipper or the walker over. So, Bigger Brother made it through round 1, but it didn't stop them from carrying Hammer and Tong around the arena. Next up was another flipper in Bulldog Breed. Bigger Brother tried to flip Bulldog Breed, but missed and lost a lot of CO2 early on. So Bulldog Breed tried to flip them, but missed a couple of times before getting Bigger Brother over. That loss of CO2 meant they could not self-right. So Sir Kill cooked Bigger Brother and flung it before Sergeant Bash tried to pick the 14th seeds and failed. Shunt had more success on that front. Next up was the Tag Team Terror, in which Bigger Brother teamed up with Plunderbird 4, a crusher. First up was a disc-stuck chainsaw robot, Scorpion, and front-hinged flipper Firestorm 2. Naturally, Rap was in order. As happens when Plunderbird is involved. Bigger Brother was first out, and it flipped Scorpion at once, which was the cue for Firestorm to rescue its partner. Plunderbird 4 responded by trying to put some holes in Scorpion. Firestorm 2 tried to rescue Scorpion again, but it had to return to where it started due to Tag Team Terror rules. They never last long, do they? Not that this lasts as long as Firestorm went after Plunderbird 4 and Bigger Brother and pushed both into Matilda's corner. Both escaped. Firestorm 2 pushed Bigger Brother into a wall. However, Plunderbird 4 had died. That never helps. Meanwhile, Bigger Brother fought on alone, targeting Scorpion, which got flipped and cooked, and Firestorm 2 before time ran out. The judges ruled in favour of Firestorm 2 and Scorpion. There was still the playoffs though, and young Joe Watts did some excellent video bombing. Awaiting them was Flipper's Invertebrate and Exterminator. Exterminator flipped Bigger Brother at once, but Bigger Brother self-righted and flipped Exterminator. Exterminator self-righted though and tagged Invertebrate. Bigger Brother didn't flip them, but it did annoy Invertebrate into tagging Exterminator before flipping them over. Exterminator self-righted though. Exterminator then carried Bigger Brother to an arena wall, but Bigger Brother got away and flipped Exterminator again. Exterminator self-righted again and lifted Bigger Brother again. Bigger Brother escaped and entered into a brief pushing war with Exterminator, one that ended with Exterminator in the pit. Cease was called at once, and Bigger Brother and Plunderbird 4-1. Now it's Extreme 1 o'clock, and also time for some more Tag Team Terror. This time Bigger Brother teamed up with Cutting Disc wielder Major Tom. But that was because their original partner, Plunderbird 5, trashed the door and themselves, forcing their withdrawal. They faced Axe Lifter Commangetrix and Flipper Spawn again. Commangetrix and Bigger Brother met first, Commangetrix managing to land an axe blow, though it didn't seem to do much after that. Not until Bigger Brother, missing a few flips, pushed Commangetrix across the arena. So Commangetrix pushed back. That resulted in Spawn again and Major Tom being brought into battle, and Spawn again flipping Major Tom over. Told you these never last long. So Bigger Brother rescued Major Tom whilst Commangetrix attacked. It then took on Spawn again and Commangetrix at the same time. Major Tom, however, was dead and got counted out. It flew and got pitted, which meant Major Tom and Bigger Brother lost. Commangetrix's team said their opponents didn't deserve to bear the Union flag that was painted on Major Tom. I'll come back to that after the next fight. Next up for Bigger Brother was the Flipper Frenzy, with Chaos 2, Thermidor 2, Wheeler Big Cheese, all of them flippers. Of course. The battle got off to a tentative start until everyone ganged up on the House Robots. Bigger Brother took care of Sergeant Bash. Really Big Cheese went after Matilda, but alas, Matilda won that battle and Really Big Cheese was pretty much dead after that. Chaos 2 then opened the pit before teaming up with Bigger Brother to try and remove Sergeant Bash from the arena. This would have been awesome if it had happened, but Sergeant Bash stayed on its side and in the arena. Several more flips by Chaos 2 and Thermidor 2 disabled Sergeant Bash's flamethrower. However, Bigger Brother's flipper went, Thermidor 2 flipped Chaos 2, and at the end, Thermidor 2 won, because they were still alive. Next up for Bigger Brother was a vengeance match against Commangetrix. It was over the tag team match from earlier and Union flag comments. After a tentative start, Bigger Brother flipped Commangetrix over. Commangetrix slowly self-righted when faced with Sergeant Bash. Bigger Brother responded by flipping Sergeant Bash again. So Commangetrix teamed up with Bigger Brother to have a go at the Kill-A-Lot. Yes, this is a vengeance battle. Please roll with it. I can explain. Bigger Brother got out of the corner and did a pirouette in the middle of the arena. Commangetrix rocked up and asked Bigger Brother. Bigger Brother opened the pit and pushed Commangetrix in. Bigger Brother followed. There was no grudge really, not between the teams. Against the House Robots and Kill-A-Lot in particular, yes. Between the teams, no. best exemplified by Joe Watts promptly causing everyone to laugh by saying he wasn't upset. Not really. So now we go to Series 5, where Bigger Brother landed in Heat I, without a seeding. First tip was horizontal spinner tip top. Bigger Brother flipped tip top at once. The second flip got tip top on its side. The third flip got tip top out of the arena. It was pretty quick. So that got Bigger Brother through to face Splinter, a grabby bot with an axe, and also the 17th seed. Bigger Brother got a quick flick in on Splinter early on, but this didn't really do anything. The second flip did, but Splinter managed to self-right with its new axe. Well, Splinter had a new everything, but that's another story. The third flip took Splinter very close to the arena's edge, and in an awkward enough position for the ref to start sniffing. Flip 4 removed Splinter from the arena altogether. Cue a happy dance from the humans. That is, as in Joe and Ellie. Next up was another cutting disc wielder in the number 8 seed, 3 Stakes to Heaven. I swear I did not name that robot. That's its name. It's a pun. 3 Stakes to Heaven did a good job of avoiding Bigger Brother's flipper, but not the flame pit where it got stuck. It managed to get free, but still a little bit on fire. And Bigger Brother flipped it around, trying to get the 8th seed out of the arena as well. 3 Stakes to Heaven, however, stayed in. So Bigger Brother sent 3 Stakes to Heaven to Shunt and flipped Shunt over. So Sir Kill-a-Lot rocked up, picked up 3 Stakes to Heaven and dropped it. Bigger Brother parked 3 Stakes to Heaven against the arena wall and went off to annoy Sir Kill-a-Lot. The ref bought 3 Stakes to Heaven, which joined the battle against Sir Kill-a-Lot before Bigger Brother resumed its attacks on the 8th seed. 3 Stakes to Heaven ended up balanced on its side and was counted out. So Bigger Brother won its heat. 3 Stakes to Heaven got pitted almost along with Sir Kill-a-Lot. Next up was vertical spinner S3. Bigger Brother caught S3 early on and carried S3 to the arena's edge. S3 landed awkwardly when Bigger Brother flipped it, and it hit the pit release tire. Meanwhile, Bigger Brother only just avoided the pit, but it didn't go in. Bigger Brother then tried to flip S3 out of the arena, but failed, and S3's disc trashed the arena pit release tire. Vandals. Bigger Brother pushed S3 toward the pit and, into the pit, nearly going in itself. But it didn't. It won. Next up was the top seeds and reigning champions, Chaos 2. Now, as you'll remember, I said earlier in the episode that Bigger Brother had aspirations of beating Chaos 2. Bigger Brother flipped Chaos 2 at once, and Chaos 2 had a hard time self-righting from there. It did though, and the two robots exchanged flips. Chaos 2 then flipped Bigger Brother a few times. Bigger Brother had an easier time of self-righting than the defending champions. So Chaos 2 flipped them near the arena's edge. Then Bigger Brother got away and flipped Chaos 2. And Chaos 2 ran out of gas and couldn't self-right. So Chaos 2 got counted out and Bigger Brother pitted them. Bigger Brother was now a grand finalist. There it faced third-seeded horizontal spinner Hypnodisc. No, the Door Gods were not kind. Not in the grand final. Yes, this is that right. Let's go. Bigger Brother started off with its rear end facing Hypnodisc, as going into Series 5 it gained tougher rear armour to deal with spinners. At first, Bigger Brother wouldn't let Hypnodisc hit anything other than that rear end until Hypnodisc hit a side panel and put a hole in it. Hypnodisc got more hits in the front, removing armour. Bigger Brother was slowly getting trashed, and the flipper was wonky. Young Ellie Watts, then aged just 6, couldn't watch. An attempted flip caused the flipper to go completely, but Bigger Brother wouldn't give up, pushing Hypnodisc around. Both bots ended up in Shunt's corner and Bigger Brother got axed. Both bots got out, but even more armour came off for Bigger Brother. But the disc and Hypnodisc started to slow down. Then Bigger Brother opened the pit and pushed Hypnodisc in. You heard me right. Hypnodisc got pitted and Bigger Brother were one fight away from the title. This fight has since been voted the greatest fight in Robot Wars history ever. Doesn't doubt it. This one is considered the best. However, Bigger Brother now had a lot of armour to fix before their final, where they faced 4th seeded Crusher Razor, who had beaten Bigger Brother for the best design title. Again, the draw gods were not kind. It's the grand final. Come on. Everyone, but one team, who were busy with their own robot, helped Bigger Brother get fixed. Razor caught Bigger Brother early on and managed to get a hole in Bigger Brother, followed by another one. All attempts at dodging ended up with Razor attacking. Bigger Brother opened the pit, hoping to get Razor in, like they did with Hypnodisc, but the unseeded flipper got more holes as a result. Eventually, time ran out and the judges were called in. They went for Razor, which was immediately followed by young Joe and Ellie Watts calling Team Razor chickens. Yes, really. Bigger Brother could not have had a tougher road to the title in those last 3 fights. All 3 of those opponents ended up in the Combat Robot Hall of Fame, quite justifiably. So, it is only fair that when Bigger Brother returned in Series 6, it was seeded 2nd. Landing Bigger Brother drew Major Tom, Flipper Killer Carrot 2, and full body spinner Reptilion. Bigger Brother went for Reptilion, taking it over to Mr. Psycho's corner before having a go at Killer Carrot 2. Killer Carrot 2 was at that moment tangling with Major Tom. Then Bigger Brother flipped Major Tom and opened the pit. Bigger Brother followed this up by flipping Killer Carrot 2 and freeing it. Reptilion, meanwhile, drove in the pit. So Bigger Brother pushed Killer Carrot 2 whilst Major Tom got counted out. A load of balls landed on Major Tom. Next up was Lifter Behemoth. Behemoth immediately got Bigger Brother upside down in Chunk's corner, but Bigger Brother self-righted its way out. Behemoth soon flipped them again, but they self-righted once more. Bigger Brother then flipped Behemoth onto its side before pushing the bulldozer bot into the pit release tower. That got Behemoth on its wheels, but Bigger Brother gave Behemoth a flick and pushed it into the pit. Next up was a horizontal spinner, Disco Inferno. Yes, that song is stuck in my head now. Both robots avoided each other early on, but Disco Inferno got hit in, but then he had elected to stay out of trouble. They still found trouble, which looked an awful lot like the Kill-A-Lot. So Bigger Brother flipped Disco Inferno a few times. Bigger Brother eventually opened the pit, and Disco Inferno drove in the pit. So, in the semi-finals again, Bigger Brother faced 6-seeded Axebot Dominator 2. After a slightly tentative start, Bigger Brother got axed by Dominator 2 a couple of times before flipping Dominator 2 and helping itself right. So Dominator 2 axed Bigger Brother and sent it to Sir Kill-A-Lot. Both got out. Dominator 2 missed the max blows and Big Brother got a flip in. Or a few flips in. Few more axe blows and Bigger Brother meeting Sir Kilowat. Sir Kilowat picked up Bigger Brother, carried it around, and landed the second seeds the wrong way round. Bigger Brother self-righted, but was down a wheel. As time ran out, Bigger Brother was arguing with Sir Kilowat. Again. The judges recording and ruled that Dominator 2 win. So that meant that Bigger Brother in the losers melee, facing the 10th seed Spawn Again, and Hypnodisc, now seeded 4th. Bigger Brother and Spawn Again went for Hypnodisc, Spawn Again being the more aggressive. Their attacks did in Hypnodisc. So Bigger Brother went after Spawn Again, and the 10th seed opened the pit before flipping Bigger Brother. That was the last time Spawn Again got a flip in, it suffering from Hypnodisc damage. Then Bigger Brother pitted Spawn Again. Next up was another axe spot for Bigger Brother, this time Terahertz. A part of Terahertz came off at once as it axed Bigger Brother repeatedly and without mercy. The repeated axings messed up Bigger Brother's flipper and apparently killed Bigger Brother, but it got going again, which resulted in Terahertz axing and pushing Bigger Brother all the way into the corner where it died. So Terahertz opened the pit, Bigger Brother got counted out and flew off air floor flipper before getting pitted. That terror hurt. That terror hurt a lot. Yes, the pun was intended. Next up for Bigger Brother was Extreme 2 and the All-Stars, where Bigger Brother faced S3 and Firestorm 4 in their first fight. Bigger Brother also had Pink Rabbit, a glove puppet, fiercely protected by young Joe Watts. Firestorm 4 and Bigger Brother targeted S3, causing the spinner to run at a very odd angle, and its flywheel to become a regular wheel, because it was like that. Bigger Brother went over and flipped them out of the arena. Very quick, very decisive. So Firestorm 4 flipped Bigger Brother, but both of the fight was already done. Next was Series 6 champions, the Boxy Tornado, bringing a scoop to the party this time. Pink Rabbit had now been attached to Joe Watts' hat. Bigger Brother got a few flips in, but none of them did anything to Tornado. Its attempt at getting Tornado to steal a kill ended with Bigger Brother crossing paths with the house robot again. Tornado then pushed Bigger Brother into an arena wall before Bigger Brother flipped Tornado and chased Tornado to the pit release tire. The two ended up in a pushing wall, which ultimately ended up with a pitted Tornado. So Bigger Brother faced Firestorm 4 again, and Ellie now had Pink Rabbit. Firestorm 4 flipped Bigger Brother early on, but afterwards pushed Bigger Brother into a wall and nearly shouldn't. After a flip, Firestorm 4 pushed Bigger Brother into another wall and opened the pit. Bigger Brother took an axe blow from Shunt, but got out of danger and on the attack. Firestorm 4 got one last flip in. Both weapons went down. So did Bigger Brother. It went down into the pit. So next up was the Minor Meltdown, and Joe Watts got to drive Bigger Brother with Ellie on weapons. Normally Joe would be on weapons. First up was Lifter, Spinner, Sawpoint, and Flipper Lamsey. Lamsey and Bigger Brother went after Sawpoint, eventually flipping the multi-weapon armed bot. Sawpoint couldn't move and ended up with Growler and minus wheel, so it really was a Sawbot. The pit was opened, Sawpoint was counted out and flung. Lamsey was then pitted. Thanks, bigger brother. Sore Point got 2 more wheels removed and had car parts land on it as it had the drop zone activate on it. Then Secure Lot removed it from the arena. Next up was Flipper Rick. Turned out poor Ellie had shut her fingers in a door. Ow! Rick and bigger brother got in on the attack early on, both missing with flips. Bigger brother did turn Rick over though, and opened the pit. Both avoided going in. Bigger brother sent Rick to dead metal, and Rick stopped moving. Rick got counted out and pitted. So next up was Lamsey again. Lamsey went on a charge, but bigger brother flipped Lamsey on its side and opened the pit, pitted them. It was that quick. So bigger brother won the Mania Meltdown tournament and got a shiny trophy for their trouble, which naturally was presented to Joe and Ellie. Next up was for bigger brother was Series 7, landing in Elite O as the 4th seed and facing Flipper Spinner Colossus, Full Body Spinner Typhoon 2 and Ring Spinner URO, short for Unidentified Rotating Object. Bigger brother flipped URO onto the ref bot before using Colossus to open the pit. Colossus got flipped and left with Secure Lot before targeting URO, which died soon afterwards. Typhoon 2 also got flipped, but it got through because the other 2 got counted out first. Colossus got righted and pitted themselves. URO followed suit. Next up was Axe Flipper Iron Ore 2.1. Bigger brother got 2 flips in early on. The 2 robots got close to the arena's edge and shunt before Iron Ore 2 flipped bigger brother out of the arena. Yes, really, you heard that right. So that was them out of Series 7, but it wasn't all over for bigger brother. They were in the All-Stars, where they faced Axbot Cat 3, Firestorm 5 and Lifter Panic Attack. Bigger brother was targeting the house robots. Everyone was targeting the house robots. Everyone charged Shunt first. Firestorm 5 flipping Shunt over before Cassius Chrome became a target. Bigger brother narrowly avoided the descending pit. The ref bot didn't, but it got out. So everyone attacked Cassius Chrome. Bigger brother attacked all house robots. Drop zone activated. Firestorm 5 drove into the pit, and after attacking the ref bot and taking some Cat 3 axe blows, bigger brother pitted itself as well. And that was the end, though bigger brother has since fought on the live circuit as recently as 2018. Bigger brother was tough and had to be. Fighting Chaos 2, Hypnodisc and Razor back to back is not a feat for the faint of heart. Why the night shift, actually? Not many teams can say they have 2 good drivers on the team. Not many can say they have 1 good driver. So, some teams don't have 1 good driver. They were pretty unlucky the way things turned out that they didn't end up being champions. If things had been different, who knows? Anyway, big question, who is next? I could do with a 1 fight wonder. And I have one. Crocodilotron. Until next week, Callison244 out.